This needs to be said.
I can hear you now.
On air.
All right, Jeff, how do you feel about Stray winning the Steam Award for most innovative gameplay?
I think that's fucking stupid. That's what I think.
What does that mean?
That's just
Being able to
nonsense.
play as a cat is not gameplay. The cat controls very normally.
That is just stupid as hell. Oh my god. I don't know. I don't get it.
I'm glad you kind of hate this cat game too.
It's just a game. It's
It'd
not.
be fine if it wasn't winning awards.
Yeah,
Really
I would have nothing to say. Yeah.
I'm telling you, see, on that porno shit, they put that name on the porno, it becomes artsy.
Yeah, but like sometimes, I mean, what? I don't even think that's it. I think the cat thing has gone out of hand. I don't know. The Annapurna does good things. They did Neon White, right? Like they published that actually. Yeah.
Yeah, they do that.
Neon White's very good for the industry. And look, obviously, it doesn't matter that much that Stray gets overrated, but I'm gonna make fun of it.
You guys hear me?
You hear that, Jeff?
I made more fun of the
You guys
people
heard it?
that praise it.
Oh, I heard it,
Yeah.
play bad.
10 out of 10. Hey, chat, I haven't seen you since last year.
Yeah, good one, Christian.
Thank you.
Too many nice things happened to Christian last year. This has to be a shitty year for Christian.
Yeah,
it's
you
so
know
good.
what? It is gonna be a shitty year because he's turned into a soccer icon guy.
Turn? Yeah.
Well, you weren't
yes.
previously. You didn't have a soccer dude
that's
as
true,
your
that's true,
icon and
that's true, that's
stuff.
true.
And now I see that, I'm
true.
like, oh no,
Bad.
it's an asshole. No, oh no, it's just Christian. Well, never mind. It is an asshole. There we go.
Yeah.
You know, I
Well,
saw
you know.
Pele. You know, I saw Pele.
Yes, I was in the same
RIP.
room as Pele.
Yeah, we were at an
RIP.
EA thing. They brought him out. I didn't know who it was.
I knew who it was. I'm like, that's the guy that
think-
does the wrestling move.
That's the guy that
I
plays
think
the football.
I think I whispered, Jeff, who is this person?
I think you probably. Oh, you
my
almost certainly
God.
did.
Very excited. What are they gonna
It's like
talk more
living in
about?
fucking-
Battlefield Hardline.
It's like living inside a fucking cave. What are you doing?
Yes, the
Yeah,
cave
remember
called
other things?
United States of America.
The United States of America is a country-sized Tupperware.
They made this
Think other-
podcast in the cave with a box of scraps.
Like other things they talked about at that EA show were Battlefield Hardline, and then they like had
don't
demo
say
stations
that.
right afterwards. Whoops. A Minions ripoff of that Simpsons Tapped Out, I think. I think they like were talking about there was like early talks about Mass Effect Andromeda. Very exciting stuff. Good times.
Fun times.
They had Unraveled one also, and that was like cute.
So that was not the
RIP
Titanfall 2
to,
year, right?
To the goat.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. That wasn't the same year as
If you
Hardline.
fucked up, I remember all that mediocre shit, but not Titanfall 2 being there.
Okay, I think you said you guys did
Hey,
hear this.
You
Chat-
guys hear me?
Yeah.
Chat should hear it. Wait.
Hey, you guys hear?
Yeah, okay. It's not echoing or anything.
Oh,
All right.
hit it again.
Hey, you guys hear me?
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, that's good.
For a second, I thought it was like kind of cutting out, but no.
No. Well, it might
Just
cut out for
making
you
it a little
gues,
bit.
actually. I mean, you're right. Good point.
Yeah, for us a little bit
Yes,
at the
and
Yeah, I
you know
hate
what,
when that
but-
thing happens where like once you start talking, then it like your two things negate
Yep.
each other's things, and I can't hear anything.
Yeah, it should be fine now. I just fixed it. Okay. I think I'm ready. I'm feeling pretty sick
You're
tonight,
Dark
chat.
Boy.
So just bear with me.
Oh no.
Get Jeff through it, everybody.
Yeah, just get me through it.
That's in the power of Dayquil.
Yes, I did take that. Although this third round of Dayquil is not as effective as the first round.
You gotta do it raw.
And I got my NyQuil right there. I dropped it on the ground. As soon as we're done, I'm just gonna snort that shit.
Snort it, baby.
okay.
Snort it off my ass.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Doesn't it absorb it faster?
I mean, Goldie, I cut my hair off and I immediately got sick. So it tells you. I think it tells you everything you need to know.
You lost all your powers.
Yep. All right. I'm ready, Mike. Should I count us in? You know what?
Yes.
You know what? Let me tweet. Let me tweet. Just for you.
Oh, I forgot to tweet.
Just for you. I'm gonna tweet.
How about that? I'm going to.
Christian, I'm using my big dumb monitor now.
I'm
It's right here. I got my big dumb monitor and then the 4K monitors up here.
I'm going to make Jeff talk about Metroid Prime Rumors. Can I make this thing move?
All right.
You see that?
Yeah, I'm looking. That's exactly where I want to be staring, Mike. Let me take a look there. Yeah, absolutely. There you go. Okay, what did I want this on this? Okay. I'm going to count us in.
Okay, please do.
In 5. Wait, hang on. Sorry. All right, there we go. In 5, 4, 3.
Hey, you guys hear me? Start cheering now! Yeah, let's get this over with. Yeah.
Woof woof! Hi, I'm Mike Minotti, and I am a Nintendog.
Hi, I'm Jeff Grubb, and I am a Nintendog.
And we are the last of the Nintendogs. Today, Metroid Prime Remastered rumors. They can't keep getting away with this. Hey, Nintendo actually lost an attempt to copyright strike something on YouTube. That's nice. And we're going to talk about a Nintendo game on our pile of shame that we're gonna play in 2023. I wanted it to keep riding.
Yeah, you got it. I think we're going to give it to you. I think Eminem would have done that.
I think he would have done that. Mom spaghetti.
That's how we live that. That's how we do this podcast. It's our motto. What would Eminem do?
What would Eminem do, Mom spaghetti? Well, Jeff, gosh, when we do this, I was like, I have it easy. I'm just going to shave my face, especially for the audio listeners. That's not nearly as bad as cutting my hair. Jeff basically just looks the same, especially when he has headphones on and sitting in a chair. I look like a giant goober. It's already noticeably growing back, at least in a few more days.
Yeah, you'll be fine in a couple days. I was telling you before the show, but you'll notice that I never once gave the option to cut my beard because I know that I would also look like a giant goober.
Well, yeah, Cone had the one artist rendition of it. We'll say. I'm glad I did. I didn't realize how bad this let's say pouch has gotten out of control under my chin here. So. Yeah, I think there might be some more.
That's just age.
Weight loss stuff
it's gonna come for everybody eventually.
It is, and my grandpa on my mom's side had this big, and that's the first thing my mom and my brother thought, you look just like grandpa. It's weird. So, but still, it's all right. And what a perfect time to decide to start losing weight, right? January 3rd.
Yeah,
fantastic.
You should be able. There won't be anybody at the gym. You're gonna be fine.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
You do look just like that. What is that? It was the Larry guy, the comedian. I'm not gonna be able to think of his name. Someone sent out a tweet of this, and it was like, "Yeah, you look just
Larry.
I'll look it up."
I got told I looked like Goo Goo, the food guy, who I just discovered. So that's funny. Uncle Fester gets thrown out. When I had just the mustache, it was not bad. I actually kind of looked like Dax Hardwood from FTR. And then, of course,
China's not helping me.
I was like, give me money and I'll shave the mustache too. And they did because, I'm
because you're a slut.
So,
yeah, totally.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's not as bad as when I took my shirt off for money on Twitch, which I think almost got me deplatformed. But hey, what can you do?
The Larry's that the chat are guessing is not helping. Larry David, Larry King.
Larry Sweet.
It's probably not a Larry. It's like Larry Miller or something like that. But whatever. He's like a character actor. We're not going to guess it. Let's just move on.
Yeah, let's do that. Well, speaking of reasons we had to do all this, it was because we thought Metroid Prime Remastered was coming out for the Switch last year.
I had two separate sources that told me that was going to happen during the holidays. And then when it didn't, I asked them, they're like, well, that's pretty weird. It was supposed to.
Let's talk about this because then, of course, right at the end of the month, a rumor ramped up again over on Reddit on our gaming leaks and rumors where a mod said that he got reached out to from a random Reddit user.
This mod DM'd me and was like, "Hey, look at this!" And I'm like, "God,
that's funny.
Fucking damn it!"
Yeah.
So what did the message say to this mod?
So the message said he messaged this mod. Do you think everyone is primed and ready? And apparently, the same user has done creative linking of Skyward Sword, WarioWare, and Splatoon 3 all before they were announced.
Nintendo stuff.
Upcoming directs.
So yeah,
all Nintendo stuff. So, and even right before the last Zelda one where they revealed the trailer, the name for Tears of Kingdom, according to this mod, this guy reached out to him and DM'd him, Zelda fans will be crying tears of joy tomorrow. So he knew the name. Now, Jeff, I don't normally love us talking about rumors like this necessarily. One, it's a slow week, obviously. And two, this Metroid Prime stuff is pretty near and dear to us. But look, we never thought that this game doesn't exist.
Oh yeah, it totally exists. It's just
Yeah,
in weird Nintendo limbo, like so many other things, where it's been done and they're just kind of holding on to it. Just like that Fire Emblem game that did get announced finally, that was done for forever, for like a year before they actually announced it, and then it was still like several months after they announced it before they're actually going to release it. So Nintendo's weird. It's really difficult to sort of nail these things down when I get two separate sources saying the exact same thing and providing details that seem to corroborate one another. I'll repeat it because I think I'm like, this is information I think people want to hear. It's just, well, turns out Nintendo can always still just be more Nintendo and go back and forth on their decisions about when to do things. I think they were going to release it November to go along with the 20th anniversary. They love anniversaries. Metroid Prime would have been a big one, but obviously, like, they didn't feel strongly enough about it that they weren't afraid to pull back on that and not end up following through with that. But this thing's probably coming at some point.
Do you think they really, because people brought this up even back then when we were talking about it coming out on the anniversary, do you think they really just thought, why are we releasing something this close to Pokemon?
I think probably that. There's probably always the issue, especially with Metroid specifically, of how do we message this around Metroid Prime 4? Are we ready to talk about Metroid Prime 4, which we might have to be if we begin talking about other Metroid Prime games and how they're coming to the Switch? So there's probably many factors, and having Pokemon right there, of course, is going to be like, well, it's not like we need anything else. And obviously they didn't. One of the fastest selling games of all time.
I want to be clear here. We are promising nothing anymore.
Promising nothing. I don't know anymore. I just don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, all I know is all I've ever said is that I was told it would be coming over the holidays. And I've known for a long time that it's existed, but that's it.
We've had a bad track record with these Nintendo Limbo games last year, Jeff.
Yeah, it's a tough business. We had a lot. It was a lot easier when we were just trying to predict the dates of Nintendo Directs. So we'll probably try to go back to that as best we can, if that's even possible going forward. But beyond that, yeah, have fun, everybody. Leave us out of it.
Speaking of Nintendo Direct, so presumably this would be announced at one, and it is maybe time to get some kind of a Direct. They usually do one January, February at some point in like the first quarter of the year, right? So hopefully that's something we'll be hearing about.
I mean,
probably
when is Tears of the Kingdom coming out? May?
It's gonna be May. Sorry.
It's okay. I don't blame you. Right. So I mean, that's like, you probably want to have a good sort of runway from now till May, where you're talking about a bunch of different stuff. Because once Tears of the Kingdom is out, that could like wrap up Nintendo's year almost. Like, people are gonna it's gonna suck up so much oxygen from the room that you're gonna have a hard time talking about other games at that point.
There's talking points online. People are like, hey, maybe that's it. Maybe that's the last big game for the Switch. And if it isn't, they're gonna. And we know some other things are coming, like Pikmin and what have you. But we gotta hear more about them. You have to have one more at least big blockbuster announced and looking forward to, even if it's years away. Whether that is the next Mario or what have you, right?
Yes, I think so. I think there's they'll have E3 to talk about things. We'll see. We'll see how they end up playing this all out. But I'm expecting, especially because of that rumor, and this is again just expectation based on what we've heard, but nothing that we're confirming, that we'll get a Direct soon, and it will have some sort of Metroid Prime thing in it. But I have no idea.
I want to thank everybody who's watching the show live. We really appreciate it. If you hit that thumbs up button, it helps more people find the show, and it just makes me feel better when I see that nice big 100 get reached, which happens every episode. I appreciate you, but don't be lax about it. Push the button. Also, if you want to send in a super chat, we have been getting a few of those. We will read all of those on air. It could be a question, it could be a comment, it could be about our topic today, which is going to be what is your kind of Nintendo pile of shame game. So like some kind of backlog Nintendo game you haven't played before that you want to play at some point in.
Did everyone just write in with Rosie Rupee Land, Tingo's Rosie Rupee Land?
They did, Jeff, and then I had to admonish them and tell them to be more original and not obvious and restart the thread. So don't worry, I took care of that. Yes, I know, I'm a hero. All right, next thing here, Jeff. So we talked about how Did You Know Gaming, the YouTube channel. They've been doing a lot of pretty cool stuff last year, especially in terms of unearthing abandoned or like pitched and canceled Nintendo games. One of these was about Retro Studios' attempts to make a Zelda tactical RPG for the DS called Heroes of Hyrule. They released a video about it, and then Nintendo made a copyright claim against it, and the video went down, which we all thought was pretty stupid because like what's the copyright here, right? This is journalism.
Yeah,
right?
we own this news.
Yeah. So, but I think a lot of people despaired. A lot of people don't even really try to fight Nintendo on these things because they're Nintendo. And you say this all the time. Nintendo of America, more than anything, is a law firm.
Yes,
right?
a law firm number one. Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. But actually today, YouTube looked at it and they put the video back online. They said they found no copyright infringement. So how about that? Nintendo lost. Did you know gaming won?
Yeah, I think the way YouTube seems to work is if you dispute it, then the company or entity that made the original claim, the YouTube copyright claim or strike, has to show evidence that they are preparing to take legal action against the YouTube channel. And it just seems like YouTube or Nintendo decided not to take that step, and so then with that fact, I think YouTube's like, well, we just have to put it back up. So. Hey, that's great because that's a really good video. Did you know gaming's doing a lot of great stuff along those lines? So I really just hope Nintendo doesn't try to pull this again because it's fucking stupid.
Yeah, maybe they learned like they just like saw like, well, obviously we can't allow this to be on the internet.
Strike, but why?
What's the on what ground?
I'm sure that they would probably argue that the some of the information is derived in one way or the other from some vector from the Giga leak. And so that is would be content that wasn't obtained in good faith through through reporting. But it's like at this point, that stuff is public and you cannot stop reporters from using that information to disseminate more information. It just doesn't work that way. But Nintendo didn't even take it that far. So here we are. I really don't know if we're ever going to get to a point where any of these companies are actually going to take fair use all the way to court. We're still operating a lot in a gray area when it comes to video game content like that. Now, news reporting, telling documentary stories on YouTube would be even more protected than like playing a game, but it's still not exactly settled. It's a lot of lawyers have a lot of ideas about what exactly fair use could mean, and they'll tell you different things depending on what you ask them. It just seems like in this case, as with most cases, neither side wanted to fully test their or at least Nintendo didn't want to test their theories about like what they would have said in court had it gotten that far.
Just talking about that idea, is that a concept you wish we would have gotten? Tactical Zelda game.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I think that could have been really cool. I always up to see a different side of the Zelda universe. I think I like Retro Studios. This was the Retro Studios one, right?
This was Retro Studios, right? So it seems like it kind of just would have sort of been there after Metroid Prime 3 kind of thing.
Yeah,
getting this timing right.
And if I remember correctly, this is the one, or maybe this was the racing game one was the one that never got approved. It might have been this game. They're like, it didn't even get pitched to Nintendo. This was just internally pitched and didn't even get that high because it's like the way the way concepts got approved at Retro Studios was really convoluted and required like 3 different people who had 3 different ideas of what Retro should be working on. And so it's like, man, I wonder how many other ideas were just like this one that sort of got squashed. And I don't know, Did You Know Gaming is slowly sifting through information and finding a lot of stories like that.
They've been pretty protective of Zelda in recent years. Like you rarely see spinoffs of that. And you used to see some, like the Tingle games, which we didn't get, but Link's crossbow training and whatnot. But Captain Toad Treasure Tracker was originally a Zelda pitch. That's which makes sense when you realize how you can't jump and all that stuff, right? So. I bet that's a hard one to get them to approve. There's a part of that would have liked it, but also maybe it's a little obvious. I would almost rather do a weirder franchise for a tactics game like Kirby,
Sure, yeah. I mean, that could be really fun. Yeah. All the different Kirbys with different powers, yeah.
All right, Jeff, why don't we look at these questions from our community here?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's see. Rock Partey says, do you think they made a Switch Call of Duty for next year? I can't think of why they don't make a team for mobile versions like Steam Deck and Switch only ports. I think they're still pretty burnt out on how poorly that series had kind of been doing on Nintendo platforms with last time they tried, right, Jeff?
Which game is this? Sorry, I was just fixing my lights.
You're not paying attention.
People were complaining that said I looked like I was in hell and everyone was getting so upset. So now it's blue, so now I'm in heaven.
Yeah, do you think they're going to make a Call of Duty for Switch next year?
Not next year, but they'll make a Call of Duty within the next couple of years.
They committed to them, right?
Yeah, they said they would.
10-year commitment.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll get around to it eventually. I mean, if it comes out next year, we'll just be Call of Duty Mobile, and that'll be fine. I think that could happen. Sure, why not?
Fluffy Cloud Gamer says, despite a strong year of games, I did actually walk away from 2022 with Kirby and the Forgotten Land as my game of the year. I love the transition to 3D, and the level design of the game is so damn creative. It completely reinvigorated my love for the series after falling off after Return to Dreamland. Led me playing the 3DS games, which are also very good. My question for the boys, have you guys ever had franchises you've fallen off of until one game reeled you back in?
Fallen off of is maybe a tough one, but definitely ones that have had a million entries and I didn't really get into it. Like, I mean, Fire Emblem Awakening obviously being the most prominent example there. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. It's like there's a time where I fall out of love with the series, and if they have good entries, I can get back to it. Kind of like with Pokemon. Like I don't feel about Pokemon like I used to when I was like a young teenager, a kid when it came out. And it's like, hey, Arceus was cool, and I played that and really enjoyed it. But it's not like, all right, now I'm completely back on board again. I mean, Goy says Xenoblade Chronicles 3, but I was never like really that into it in the first place there. I feel like there must be a better example of this. Sometimes like there's definitely like, oh, the series has been bad for a while, and then like a Sonic Mania will come out.
Yeah, I was gonna say
like,
Sonic Mania.
Sonic
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Yeah,
go back and play the old ones and all that stuff. So yeah, maybe that's a good answer for that. The Jat in the Hat, that's cute, says, Happy New Year, Nintendogs. Hope you guys don't lose more fur this year. What is a Wii-branded game that you want to see get a fun revival on Switch? Wii Sports Resort, Wii Music, Wii Play, or Wii Party, or any other ones that you can think of. Why don't you guys play Wii Party? You played that during the Giant Bombathon, right? That was kind of fun.
That was a good time. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. I guess I should say Wii Music for the lulz, but...
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to think if there's like anything else that... Because really, it would be Wii Sports Resort, I guess. But you know, they already just did Nintendo Switch Sports, so
I gotta throw more dog frisbees. For the Nintendogs, dog frisbees for the dogs. Yeah,
we'll sell branded frisbees, absolutely.
Yeah, Nintendo won't get mad or anything. Jamie H1224 says prediction time for 2023. Oh, we can revisit at the end of the year. Wow. Okay, Jeff, this is let's go. From January to December, what will be number one? Best-selling game on Switch. Can be a new title or something evergreen like Pokemon or Mario Kart 8. I'll go ahead and say that Tears of the Kingdom will be the best-selling game of the year for Switch.
Yes, of course. Yeah, me too.
I think we'll be safe there. Number two, best-selling hardware. Base Switch, OLED Lite, or a new SKU. I don't think there's a new SKU this year.
I think it's going to be the OLED.
I think it'll be the OLED. Total number of directs, including minis, partners, and standalones.
Oh. Man,
interesting.
I'm not good at this.
Yeah, minis, partners, because they do the indies, the indie world. Indie worlds probably count also. Like how many would have been last year if we count all those things? Like,
yeah, how many were there last year? Chat, help us
7?
out. I'm not good at counting these. Like I kind of just barely remember the last one that happened, and I know there's people who are like, well, a direct happens there, a direct happens here, and then sometimes we do a mini direct here. I'll just go
say 6.
I was gonna say I'll say 7.
Okay, you got 7. Total number of NSO Classic consoles by the end of 2023. Rock, paper, scissors to decide if GB and GBC count as 1 or 2. Well, I'll tell you what. If they put it on Switch, I bet they combine them.
Yes,
so
they'll treat it as one. Yeah.
But like the question is, how many do you think they're going to add this year? Really?
Okay, so I think that they will add. I'm gonna say 2 more. Excuse me. I'll say Game Boy Color, and then one additional one after that.
Like you think it'll be like something like, well, I can't believe it's the Sega Saturn GameCube, or you think it'll be
TurboGrafx,
maybe
16.
like TurboGrafx.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something lame. Yeah.
I'm gonna lower expectations and say 1.
Okay.
1 new one. Whatever we have plus 1. And then 5, number of new amiibo announced, not including the Smash ones we already know about, but can include new ones announced this year, but not released by the end of 2023.
0.
I bet there will be like a new Pikmin amiibo and like another one. I'm gonna say 3 new amiibo this year.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 0.
Okay. Thank you, Jamie. Hoss says, hey, yo, dogs. Well, I managed to beat Sports Stories, and holy moly, you guys are right to avoid it. Buggy, directionless, and the final challenge completely missing the point. Are there any Nintendo games you think would make a do not playlist? Man, Jeff, this is just, it's sad. What was more sad was when I realized there's not a refund policy on the eShop.
If you like call them up and say you never played it, you might be all right.
That sounds like
it's $15 though. Is that worth your time? Yeah.
No, it's probably not. Um, and then we haven't talked about this on here, but people have found that like developer room that you can't even access normally, and it's like we've seen that kind of thing in like other games like Pokemon, where it's like, haha, go talk to the developers. Except these developers are sad.
Yes, these developers like, please help us. Please
Help!
One is like,
My original
kill
vision
me.
for the game is ruined.
Yeah.
We're crunch. It's like, oh no!
Yeah.
Like
we had to work really
man.
hard, and we had to keep adding features. It was like really messed up.
So we probably messed up here by maybe we were fools to be excited by the sports story concept. Maybe you should have immediately been like, wait, just focus on one sports. But the problems are really more than that, right?
Oh yeah, I mean it just clearly didn't understand any of the assignments of what it needed to be, and it has no interest in being a fun game. Like that's its biggest crime. It just is. It's just very happy being pretty boring and directionless.
Nintendo games that would make a do not play list. Like even like weird Nintendo misfires are somewhat interesting sometimes, right?
Right.
Like, if you told me, hey, do you want to play Metroid Prime Federation Force? I'd be like, yeah, kind of.
Yeah. Do you want to come over and play Wand of Gamelon? Yeah, let's do it.
Kind of do.
Yeah.
Right. So
It's
yeah.
Nintendo's failures are almost always interesting. You'll learn something from playing all the Virtual Boy games, even like so. Yeah, go for it.
I mean, there's certainly bland ones. Like I'd maybe say, hey, don't play Kirby Star Allies unless you got to get your kids a new Kirby game for Switch because they love Forgotten Land, right?
Yep.
But there's always a reason. Even Mario's Missing, HK, like, I played Mario's Missing as a kid. Didn't really understand what's happening.
Yeah, I want to see if I can figure out what's
there's
going on in
Mario.
that and Hotel Mario. I never really figured that out.
Hotel Mario? You mean Mario Time Machine? Hotel Mario was the weird CDI one.
Right. All these we got to figure out. Maybe we should have a weird Mario game day.
Weird Mario marathon with that, like the Mario typing game and something else.
Yeah.
One Up versus CPU says it's a new year, so let the Nintendo Direct speculation begin. When you think we'll get one? We talked about this probably February. April's looking kind of empty, so I'm thinking late January. So they have 3 months to market this April game. Pikmin 4 sounds like a good game for the beginning of spring.
Yeah, I would really like it if Pikmin 4 dropped in the summer.
Yeah, that makes sense. Give it a little time after Zelda, because Zelda is obviously going to do you good for a while there. But yeah, I think, sometime late January, early February, I think, for a direct. Wild Porgs. Remember Porgs?
Oh,
You
yeah.
remember
I
Porgs.
love Porgs.
I like Porgs, fine, yeah. Dear Jeff, interesting. Grubb and Mike, interesting. Menotti, I guess we say this. Have you had any donuts this year? If no, any baked goods this year, as in 2023? And no, I did just eat a shortbread cookie. It's the ones from Disney World that my stepmom got from me and saved for Christmas because she knows that I like them. So, aside from, I also had a peanut butter sandwich before this, which is made with white bread, which I guess would be a baked good. I had a very good donut last year at that Voodoo Donuts in Universal City Walk. That was really fun. I do like donuts. I'm not much of a sweet guy. I'm not much for like cupcakes or muffins or even cookies, to be honest, anymore. I'm never gonna turn down just a regular glazed donut, though.
The question is, like, have you had any like baked goods this year? That's the question.
Well, first and foremost, have you had a donut this year?
Yes. My wife went to Dunkin' Donuts and got us the chocolate like brownie filled donuts, like the brownie dough batter.
Yeah.
And it's really, really tasty. And it tastes just like brownies inside the donut. So yeah, very, very rich, but very tasty. Mike, remember when we were at that, excuse me, coughing, the Los Angeles thing for one of the GameSpeed summits, and they had cronuts. Did you get one of those when we were there? Those were so good. The croissant donuts. I always look for those everywhere. I'm like, man, of course, it's just in like places like LA and cool places.
They were really trendy for a little bit. You can sometimes find them in some places in Disney World, but I love them. Yes,
they were
good.
very good.
I love a croissant.
Yes, me too. And I love donuts. So there we go. Best of both worlds.
There you go. Octo. Oh no, my bad. Excuse me. Said Jeremy Biff. I found my place. Hi, Mike. Likes being called Minionati. Minotti. I love it. And Jeff should be wearing a ski mask right now. Grubb. I should be wearing a ski mask. Yeah. Who's your favorite Elite Four member in Scarlet and Violet, Rika or Larry? Well, I'll tell you what. I do not know. I have not made it close to that far in Scarlet and Violet. I wonder if I'm gonna try it again. I know it sounds like Jan fell on the wagon. I've tried. I never even like ever tell myself, "Oh, I'm done with this game," but like 3 times now, I basically have stopped playing for like a week, and the game's not been up very long. And each time, I'm more and more slow to get back on it. All right. Let's see. I'm gonna find pictures of these. Oh, this okay. Let's see if we can find pictures of Rika and Larry.
What does this the
They
Larry you look
like
like?
these are like just dudes in suits with anime hair.
Rika and Larry.
Scarlet and Violet Elite Four. Because I'm not sure which one is Rika and which
I
one
think Rika's
is.
the green-haired one, so I like Larry.
I don't like either of them.
Larry's my favorite. I think Larry has eyebrows.
This whole Elite Four is weird. There's two old men, like one of them who's maybe somebody's son, a very small little girl with a who looks like a doll, and then I think the leader is a hot woman, which it makes sense. That checks out.
Right, of course, they're always in charge.
Yeah. Octo says, "Happy New Year, Jeff. Is there a head level draft in this room, or is it just me, Grubb, and Mike getting the experience of fatherhood when his phone doesn't recognize him after his shave? I was so confused with it. Like, why should my stuff work?"
That's really funny.
What's the last game you 100%ed and or went back to play on a harder difficulty? I got every achievement in Hades and 100'd Hunt Down, rad, underrated action platformer with mad Sega CD vibes. Cheers.
I wonder if our answer's the same, or if you've done something else since this game.
Well, I mean, I basically I didn't get like the last few achievements in Neon White where you have to like go and do the thing where you kind of play through.
But
all the
you
levels
basically
from a world.
basically 100. But that doesn't have a game where you can. Isn't the question like, and then you went back and played it on a harder difficulty? Or is
Yeah,
that just
that's true. So yeah, it would be Neon White. I mean, I guess I technically started that proud mode run of Kingdom Hearts a bit ago, and I've been playing that some more recently, even. So we could say Kingdom Hearts.
Mine was Metroid. The Metroid. What is that?
Metroid Dread.
Metroid
Yeah,
Dread,
that
yes.
one. That's the only time. Well, I guess we could say perhaps in Neon White, but yeah, I'm not much of like I beat this game. I'm going to play it in the hard mode now, and that one.
Right. Metroid Dread. I like 100%ed it, and then went back and played it on hard. Yeah.
Yeah, I played like that game through 5 times, like to unlock all those like special screens you get at the end. I even like, okay, now I'm gonna beat it under 3 hours on hard mode. Oh god, that game was so good. Zillax says, "Dear Jeff and Mike, will 2023 have Mega Man X vibes?" I mean, it'll definitely have the vibes. They're gonna have to make a new Mega Man X someday, right? Maybe for funsies.
It has enough like nostalgia and like. People talk about it with such reverence that I would think eventually, yes, they'll just do it.
Like, we don't get very much Mega Man stuff these days, so maybe the Battle Network Collection is going to do us for all of 2023. But, like, I like classic Mega Man more than X, but even I'm like, hey, maybe we should do something with X, actually, next. Velocity Prime says, "Hello, smooth man. Outside of technical proficiency, what would you actually like to see in Tears of the Kingdom in terms of its structure, content, and gameplay?" I mean, this isn't an original thing, Jeff, but I would like to see some more long form, really like well themed dungeons again. If you just plop some of those basically into that structure that we had in the last game, I would be happy. I would also like to have a more exciting, very ending. Like most of the ending in Breath of the Wild was good, but the like last like couple boss fights and the actual like final cutscene were pretty meh. So those are my 2 points of potential improvement.
I want the weapons to degrade as soon as you pick them up. I want them just like to dissolve in your hands.
I want them to degrade faster.
Yes.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
That'd be incredible, actually. I'd be so happy. Hey, Ball Brothers. This is from the Uncharted Wolf, who says, "It's officially time for the Game Mess 2023 Metacritic Prediction Special." Oh, here we go. It's this again.
I'm excited.
All right. I will be listing out games coming out in Q1 of 2023. Same rules as before. Whoever gets closest to the final Metacritic score gets 1 point. Extra prediction scores 2 points. You can't guess the same score either. New rule: if you think the game won't come out in Q1, you can say will not release. If you're right, you get 2 points. If you're wrong, you lose 1 point. Also be recording your answers. Predict away, beefy men. All right, Jeff. We'll alternate who gets to go first here, but I should get to go first since I won last time.
I think that's right.
And I think that Fire Emblem Engage will get a 83.
I think that it will get an 80.
Wow, lower.
Yeah.
You could go first on Forspoken.
Okay, for Forspoken, I'm going to say a 79.
I'm going to go 64.
Ooh, wow.
Smoking.
I think it's gonna be trash, huh? All right.
I'm not feeling great about it. Dead Space Remake, I think, is going to be an 89.
I'm gonna say 84.
Go ahead for Hogwarts Legacy.
Yeah, Hogwarts Legacy. Jesus. I'm gonna say 80.
I'll say 83. Wild Hearts. This one's hard. This is that like Monster Hunter like thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say like 77 for Wild Hearts.
I'm gonna say 78.
You have Atomic Heart. Which one's that? Was this one of these sci-fi? Who's he done it?
Atomic Heart is one that I think this is one that Jeff Acklar always brings up as being excited, and I can never remember what it is. So here we are again.
FPS action role-playing game by Mudfish.
It kind of looks. Is this the one of the? Is this the Bioshocky one? No, it kind of looks Bioshocky.
It takes place in an alternate 1955 Soviet Union, so not very Bioshocky to me.
Well, I mean, the guy's shooting electricity out of his hands, and there's a bunch of like theatrical mask guys. Okay, who's first on this one?
You are, unfortunately. So have fun.
I'm gonna say 80. I'm gonna say 78.
I say 81. I'll get optimistic. Horizon Call of the Mountain. This is hard because those VR perverts, Jeff.
Yeah, right. You got to keep that in mind. It's only going to be reviewed by VR perverts.
Right. So bet they'll be pretty happy with this to give it like an 86.
This is Horizon Call of the Mountain 86. Yeah, I bet I'm gonna go 87.
Octopath Traveler 2. This one's you first.
All right. I'm gonna say 82.
I think the first game was around there, and I bet they're going to improve this one. I'm going to go 86.
Okay.
That's my favorite number, apparently. I think I have a lot of 86s. Skull and Bones. Ooh. I wish I didn't go first on this one. I do think it comes out. I'll say 80. Right on 80.
I'll say 78.
Jedi Survivor, Jeff.
87.
89. Resident Evil 4 Remake. I'm gonna say 94 for that.
I'll say 92.
And then you finish with Crime Boss Rocky City.
65.
What is this shit?
This is the one that like the only thing you really need to know about is they got a bunch of celebrities in it. It's like
yeah, I'm gonna say 60. All right then. I think we're not. Oh wait, you know what? We skipped Wulong Fallen Dynasty. You can go ahead, Jeff, since I forgot it.
Right. Okay. Wulong Fallen Dynasty. I'm gonna say this one's gonna be a surprising 82.
I'm gonna say 75.
All right.
There we go. All right, we'll find out after a couple months here who did better here. Epic Open World says, "Hey doggos, I met my goal of finishing Persona 5 Royal by the end of last year with 30 minutes to spare. Great game. Do you think Atlas announces Persona 6 this year? Original Persona 5 came out in 2016 and Royal was 2020. Seems like it is about time. Also, do you think it'll launch multi-platform?" I mean, I would have almost thought it would have gone announced last year. Obviously, they kind of almost focused on these ports being a thing, and those are happening now. It seems pretty shocking to me, Jeff, that if within the next 12 months we don't at least announce Persona 6. Now, I think they realize that they announced Persona 5 maybe too early, whatever that means, right? Like, does that hurt them? But Persona 5 took a lot longer to make than they thought. So maybe they're a little conscious of that, but come on, they got to announce Persona 5.
Why the fuck? I hear this remake, or this rumor about a Persona 3 remake. Does that make any sense?
There's rumors. Well, there's some, yes, for some reason. So the version of Persona 3 that you can like play now is basically a PSP port.
Yeah.
Which has some upgrades, but also it had to like do things like you don't actually walk around like the town areas. You just kind of move a cursor around them, which functionally works the same. The one thing too is that there was an expansion for Persona 3 called FES that is not importable,
sure,
which carries the story over. So like that's not there. So you could include that if you do a remake. So you can kind of basically combine the best features of FES, Persona 3 Portable, and like make the graphics and whatnot better. So that makes some sense. I don't know why you would do that before just making Persona 6.
Or do a remake of Persona 1 and 2 with like modern visuals.
Yeah, maybe, but like the Persona 1 and 2 are so Street Fighter 1, like for
Yeah.
so many
Oh yeah,
people,
for sure.
right?
Yeah.
Like I don't blame them for like being like, yeah, we're not gonna do that much with those. I think that it'll be a PlayStation exclusive for a while.
Oh yes,
still,
definitely.
somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why, but it will be. Screaming Matt says happy.
Oh wait, no,
2020
isn't Persona the one they said they would start releasing everywhere? I think
They said that?
I think it was Sega so much is implied that basically they're like, going forward, we're going to be a lot more trying to get things out everywhere at the same time. And I think everyone has taken that to mean a Persona. I won't be surprised if they still do that with Persona, where it's still on PlayStation first. But I think the implication is it'll be everywhere.
I mean, if you could get Persona like on PC and Switch from like day one, like you're gonna have
That'd be
a
very
gigantic first month.
Be very huge for them. Yes.
And like Persona's a game that doesn't need to look too much better than Persona 5, right?
Absolutely.
I'm sure it will, but like, you know. Screaming Matt says, happy 2023. Jeff, well, at least Ohio State lost. Grubb and Mike, I just like the Cleveland Guardians, but naughty. Oh, those Cavs, though. Well, we had that record, big scoring game yesterday on our team. Like, we got to go to a Cavs game, Jeff. They're
Sure.
exciting team. I got to ask, what is the best sports game, excuse me, to release on the Nintendo Switch? Feels like this has been one of the weaker gens for Mario sports games, other than Strikers, according to YouTube. It doesn't have many licensed sports games on the console. I mean, sports definitely is kind of a weak point for the system, huh?
Yeah. The best sports game on Switch, definitely not Sports Story.
No, I mean, if it counted, I would say Star Wars Episode 1 Racer, which is definitely the one I had the most fun with. I mean, maybe it's just Golf Story, I guess, huh?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe if you want something a little bit more action-y. I mean, I would probably still just say Strikers if you have someone to play with.
Mr. Bowler says, happy New Year, Nintendogs. A new year brings time to look to the future, right? Wrong. I want you to look back to the past with a by the decade edition of Buy One, Rent One, Banish One. Your choices are, because this is interesting. So we have different, like we have a 1993 game with Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening.
Ooh, okay.
A 2003 game with Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. And then a 2013 game with the Legend of Zelda.
This is directly aimed at me. Fuck you.
Yeah, these are three of your favorite games.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm going to let you go first since this one's going to hurt you the most.
I can't. This is impossible. Buy one, rent one, banish one. I really don't see how I could banish it. I guess I'm banishing Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, which is the craziest thing possible. That's so crazy, man. I love that game so much. But I guess I'm banishing that, and then I'm going to rent A Link Between Worlds. I'm going to buy Link's Awakening. Or maybe I'll flip those, but whatever.
I'm going to banish Superstar Saga, rent Link's Awakening, and buy A Link Between Worlds. But yes, this one is very fucked up, Mr.
Yes.
Ford. Congratulations.
Jesus.
You did it. Chaos Buckaroo says, howdy, fellas. We focus a lot on box art, but what about the boxes themselves? GameCube and DS had tried and true black/gray. Wii and 3DS had white that really made the box art pop, but can get dinged up easily. Wii U had the very unique blue. You can spot a Wii U game case from a mile away, and Switch has clear. What is your favorite and why? For me, it is white, blue, clear, black in that order. I mean, you know, I'm a GameCube pervert. I love that. The GameCube, I think those boxes look fantastic. They look better than the Japanese tinier boxes. So I do like the classic NES black box thing, although like the actual cardboard boxes are a pain.
Yeah, which one was clear?
Switches are clear. The
switches are clear. Okay. Right. Oh, the cases themselves. Okay. I don't know. I don't really care. Can I say that? I don't care. I haven't really. This is not something that ever really popped out. I guess I do like the blue of the Wii U.
There you go. The Genesis had the best boxes because like they're those before they switched cheap cardboard. Those like actual like those are still great. Those are still perfect.
Yeah, like what are those?
Edition?
Like just like basically like VHS. Like VHS didn't even really use those for very long.
No, it's like great. Yeah, the clasps really hard. It's really hard, sturdy plastic. They're fantastic. They keep your games and manuals super safe. You see, I got my Genesis calendar. I'm very excited about that.
Ooh, that's really cool looking.
Yeah, the other ones are all box art. They get better, so it's going to be exciting stuff. Gerbear says, hello, Vegas Jeff in Atlantic City, Mike. Oh, you know, I have a fucked up, not really fucked up, but our family bought a Atari Jaguar at Atlantic City the only time I was ever there.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what it was. We were at Atlantic City. We were on the boardwalk. We were in some store. I forget if it was like a ticket redemption thing or what, but it was like relatively by the time nobody thought the Atari Jaguar was going to be a thing. So I don't think it was too much.
Okay.
We had an Atari Jaguar and basically never got any. I think we had that Pitfall game and not much else. It was not a very good system.
No.
And I'm somebody who like genuinely liked my 3DO a lot and played like a good amount of it. The Jaguar, not so much. But who is going to win the women's and men's Royal Rumbles this year? I know it's a few weeks away, but where's the fun and informed speculation? Wild spoofery is more entertaining. I'm excited for the Rumble this year, man. I think the Rumble was so much fun. The WWE has obviously had some big improvements this year, and there's a lot of people who could show up at this Rumble. Stone Cold Steve Austin posted a video
of him in shape,
incredible shape, and I'm like, oh, like I don't think he's gonna win, but I hope he shows up.
I mean, The Rock wins, right?
That's what people think, so that he can fight Roman Reigns. But you could set that up in other ways.
Can I tell you what I want to happen?
What do you want to happen?
I want Sami Zayn to win, so he has to fight. So
right.
That's what I think should happen.
I don't know if they're pulling that trigger yet.
Right, exactly. Right, they're probably, that's why it's probably not going to happen, because they could always do that later, and it seems like they have that ready to go for when things start getting stale. They could always do that whenever. So, but that's still what I want to happen.
WrestleMania almost sells itself in a way. Like, that's your summer program, I bet. And I'm very excited for it. I kind of, like, if it's not The Rock, it's going to be Cody Rhodes. And I kind of want it to be Cody Rhodes. So I'm going to say Cody Rhodes is going to win. The women's. Gosh, that's a harder one. Maybe Sasha Banks' surprise comes back after today, like saying good, like thank you WWE, like she tricked all of us, Jeff. Gosh, who's the one? Gosh, I'm blanking the name, but who's the one who's like the woman, the girl in God now Judgment Day, who's the mommy? She's very strong. I like her a lot. I want her to win. I want her to beat me up.
You mean from the Terminator 2 Judgment Day?
Yes, from Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
Oh, Sarah Connor. Sarah Connor's going to win.
I want Sarah Connor to win.
Me too.
Thank you for that, Jeff.
Yeah, no problem.
Bench JC says, hey, dogs, Nintendo has been very tight-lipped about Tears of the Kingdom. Rhea Ripley, thank you, Kyle. I knew someone would help me. Do you think it's just pure confidence, or maybe they are trying to hide something major that will all leave us shocked, or both? I think that they just have a plan, and they know when they're going to say more about it. And they probably didn't even realize how, like, maybe long of a wait that would be for some people to hear more about it. But I think everything's going to plan. I don't know. It'd be kind of, it sure would be something if that game got delayed again, huh?
Yeah, that'd be really weird at this point.
Kind of fucked up.
Yeah, it'd be kind of a wild ride for the rest of this year as people like freak out and have like real anxiety about what that means for that game.
Evil Janice says, since Nintendo isn't a competitor to Microsoft or Sony, according to the FTC, then they have no issue if Nintendo sold to Microsoft or Sony, right? Yeah, I bet they'd have an issue.
Uh-huh.
I bet they have a pretty big issue.
I bet they would come up with a reason why that is terrible. Yep. It's very, very weird.
Happy New Year, Jeff. Too scared to come up with a fancy critic publisher named Grubb. And Mike, too scared to draft Silksong and believe that it will release this year, Minotti. Ooh. Oh, this is a good question. How much hair are you willing to bet on Lord of the Rings Gollum actually coming out this year? That is an actual video game, isn't it, Jeff?
I suppose so. I thought it looked fine, and everyone's like, this looks like trash. I'm like, okay, I guess I wasn't looking that closely.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Jeff. I do not think it looks fine.
Guess what? I didn't work on it. I don't care what you think.
Yeah, I mean, I think conceptually it was a very bad idea, and then seeing it, I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Like, at least Hogwarts Legacy understands the assignment in terms of production value, right? I don't think people really want to play a kind of, and I don't know, you don't like to phrase, a double A looking Lord of the Rings game. Mm-hmm. So you want that stuff looking pristine. It's just it
does look cheap.
It looks cheap, and like I want to be like, yeah, we need smaller games, but this part of me's like, the Lord of the Rings game, should that be like the smaller game?
Yep.
I don't know. And then it's like, I don't want to play as Of all the people to play as Gollum, more Mordor shit. We have so much Mordor fatigue. So it's weird.
Yeah, give me a Stardew Valley set in the Shire. That's what I want.
Yeah, like come on. There's so many, like a game that's really focusing on horseback riding taking place in Rohan.
Yeah.
Just make your own Dwarf Fortress with Moria or whatever. I don't know. I actually don't know what you do in Dwarf Fortress. I assume that idea makes sense, but I don't know.
You got it. Nailed it in one.
Thank you. New Year, St. Bob says, woof woof to my dogs. I allude to this in the main topic, but I'll ask more specifically here. There's no way I'll make any meaningful progress in my backlog this year if nothing gets delayed, right? Follow up. As leader of the sports story bandwagon around here, I apologize for hyping this stinker of a game up for the community the last few years. For the record, I do think the art, writing, and some of the gameplay is still excellent. between technical performance and the game just getting too far away from the tight pacing it had in Golf Story. It's definitely let down. Golf Story 2 is going to be great, though. I don't think anybody blames you personally, Bop.
Yeah, Bob, this is not on you. I was pretty excited too. Not as excited as you were, but I was definitely like ready for that game. I bought it the second it came out and played it, and yeah, it was disappointing in a way I just wasn't expecting. I definitely laughed at some of the jokes I read though. So you're right. Some of the stuff that does hold up. It's just clearly they didn't understand how to make the game they were making feel fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a pretty crowded year, Bob, for sure. I'm sure I'll still find time to go back and play some more. I mean, I love playing retro stuff, right? I could be good at just doing that anyway, so I'll find some time for older stuff. Turbo Scar says, Happy New Year, Grug and Minetti. If the new Switch was to have 3 Joy-Cons, where would the third one go? Oh,
up your ass.
Where it would. I was going to say, like...
Up your ass.
All right, up your ass.
In the butt.
In the butt. Clink says, hello, Mike. It'll grow right back, Minotti. And Jeff, it'll grow back right, Grubb. Nintendo loves to introduce an interesting gimmick for every new console. Forget the reasonable. What is your hot take on what they'll try for the next one? Joy-Con, Vitality, Sensor, maybe.
Yeah, that goes up your butt.
Goes up your butt. I mean, that would actually be probably more effective at getting your vitals than your finger, I suppose. Gosh, what was something real fucking weird, like
weirder than a Joy-Con up your butt. I guess there's nothing weird about that.
I could see them like having a camera on the front just to try to read your facial expressions. Like, something stupid like that.
Maybe they'll bring back eye tracking or something.
Right. 'Cause that's what they wanted with the Vitalis. It wasn't like maybe her else up was like we're gonna know if you're feeling tense and stuff. Well, now they're just gonna look at your face the entire time you're playing. It's gonna be messed up.
Yes, and so like, oh look, they're feeling sad, and then we can do something in the game about that, and then Hideo Kojima will be like, it's time for Boktai 3.
There we go.
Where it's fueled by your happiness. You have to smile at the screen the whole time.
Oh, that sounds awful. Vision 49 says, what's a trend you would like to see start in the games industry this year?
Good games.
I mean, everyone keeps saying it, but it sure would be nice if we found we need to spend less time working on ways to make games bigger and more pretty and whatnot. Maybe try to find some ways to make these things come out faster. I know AI is going to help in some ways there, and I hope we don't get carried away with that, where we kind of lose the soul of it a bit. But AI is going to happen anyways.
It's going to happen. That's kind of where I'm at too. I mean, hey, more power to the people who are like, we got to do something about this. I hope you figure something out. But I kind of can't get too up in arms about it. Yeah, I guess I'm kind of with Mike. I would like to see people like take stock in how big do we. I mean, I get that the biggest games need to keep getting bigger because they need to justify their cost and they need to sell tens of millions of copies to really make a lot of sense. But boy, I just don't know if I need it anymore. Because how many of these really big games am I playing? I guess I love it when it's Elden Ring, and I don't really care when it's a lot of other stuff that came out this year that was supposed to be a big game. It's a
once-in-a-generation game, but it's like, hey, you ready to go play 30 hours of God of War Ragnarok? You're like,
but it's like, and like, you're not making Elden Ring next game developer out there like that has to try to compete with Elden Ring. Like, you probably shouldn't even try. Like the same thing with Red Dead Redemption 2, a game. One of the reasons I think Red Dead Redemption 2 is kind of a bad thing for games is because developers are going to look at that and be like, oh, we have to make a game that expansive. It's like, no, please don't. You really don't need to. This is not where you need to be putting your efforts. You need to be looking at more creative ways to let players interact with your world, not a bigger world to do barely any interactions with. But developers are going to keep doing this, and really publishers are going to keep asking for it. So I would like to see developers look deeper in what they already have rather than trying to just go broader with everything.
We need to go back in time and praise the Order 1886 for its length.
Yes,
this game's short and that's great.
Good job. Absolutely.
We all fucked up there. Dr. Sus says, hey, hairless men of meat and cheese, how would you balance taking advantage of the Switch's peak user base and new titles for the next generation? What franchises would make sense where? How would you balance taking advantage of the Switch's peak user base and new titles for the next generation? I don't know. I'm not exactly following this one, Jeff. How about you?
I'm the peak user base and new. Okay, so I think they're asking the Switch has 120 million users, and you want to take advantage of that, but there's going to be a new generation, and you want to take advantage of the new power. So what makes sense for going cross-platform, and what makes sense for being next gen only? I think that I don't know. my gut here, and this is still my gut, still tells me that even if it is a full Switch 2, and I guess, part of the rumors lately, I think we talked about this last week, where
it's going to be a Switch 2.
Right, like the Switch Pro just seems completely dead at this point. Even in that case, I still think that they do some sort of soft sort of transition from one generation to the next, where a lot of the games are cross-platform. But ignoring that, I think most games for a Nintendo device make sense going fully next generation, because people will just buy these things as quickly as they possibly can, regardless. So
right. And you need to give them, you do want people to be excited for next gen, and you do want people to buy it.
And your Nintendo, your games sell at $60, $70, which they'll probably be $70 for a new Switch, the entire generation, and you never have to lower the price. So it's not like you are in that position that Sony's in, where they know a year from now their biggest games are going to be $40, $35 or something like that. They're going to have to sell for half the price to a lot of people who would have bought it at full price had they had a PlayStation 5 at the time. Well, that's once people get a Switch 2, they will pay the full price for a Nintendo game, because they've just been conditioned to do so.
G-Man Sir says, hello, Jeff. Still more hair than Mike Grubb. And Mike, my head looks like my no-no part. Minotti, thank you. What are your thoughts on Grippy Toad? Grippy Toad, I don't like. The mustache on a frog looks weird. There's no real nose.
I'm looking at this thing. What is this thing?
This is Slippy's uncle, I believe, from Star Fox Guard for the Wii U. Remember that shit?
Right. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. That was like tower defense when tower defense was way past its prime. And I mean, I tell you what, it did in fact make interesting use of the Wii U tablet, which not a whole lot of games did. I'll give it that. Yeah, I don't like him. Yeah,
I don't like him either. He sucks. Grippy Toad sucks.
I bet he's a meep though.
I can ask, because he's got a lot of man vibes, so she might be no, that's a man.
Not meep of the year, that's for sure.
No, definitely not. Most disappointing meep.
Most innovative beat.
Stray.
Letty Cool Dick Denver says, hey Jeff, of course Metroid Prime Remake rumors start after I cut my hair. Grubb and Mike now looks like he sells beans on the New York City subway. Naughty. Legit, I was in New York last year and a dude looking like hairless Mike tried to sell me beans on the train.
Did you buy them? Listen, if someone tries to sell you beans on a train, you buy them.
No, I have the complete opposite take on this.
Nope. You have to buy those beans. I gotta know what's going on with those beans.
You did not buy those beans. Absolutely not. Of the big three, who will have the best back half of 2023, July to December? I can't imagine it's Nintendo, actually.
Right, yeah.
They're kind of blowing their load early this year, right?
I mean, as we all know, I have always said, apparently somewhere, that Microsoft won't have any games in the second half of 2023 at some point. Shadow Me said that.
They restarted development on Fable.
Yes, make it Unreal Engine.
That's not true, everybody.
Yes, that's not true. What would Sony have?
Sony is going to have Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth and Spider-Man 2. So I think
it's going to be Sony. Yeah, Sony's going. I mean, Spider-Man 2 alone.
Like those are like the pretty much guarantees as much as we can, and everyone else basically has no guarantees for the second half.
Right.
And I don't know what
I mean, Hellblade. I bet it's gonna be Hellblade 2 and maybe one other game. Probably still. I mean, regardless of that story not being true, probably not Fable or Avowed. But probably not Perfect Dark. But if it's Hellblade 2 and like one other game that Microsoft's been working on, even that I don't think matches up to. But whatever. If they have Starfield and Redfall and Forza in the first half, that's a pretty good year.
I mean, like Pokemon will have some kind. I mean, Nintendo will probably have like some kind of Pokemon thing, and then. It's like, what else? Or is that when they finally sneak out Advance Wars? Like, that's the big question. Is there possibly going to be a Mario game coming out this holiday? And
I mean, let's do what's the best case scenario for Nintendo? Metroid Prime 4, a Mario game, and listen, I said best case scenario.
Yeah, that's very best case.
Yes, it's impossible case scenario, but whatever. I mean, that would be pretty good.
That'd be pretty good. That would maybe do it, and that's like the best case scenario. I don't see it happening.
Yep, I agree.
Gaming in the Clinton year says, hello, Jeff. Load-bearing command strips Grubb. And Mike looks like Marissa Tomei would be into him. Who's Marissa Tomei? Am I even saying
Marissa Tomei?
Who's that?
That's okay. Let me see. Let me think of a reference that you'll get from Marissa Tomei. It is My Cousin Vinny's girlfriend, lady. And then it is...
Oh, this is from Aunt May. This is from Spider-Man.
Yes, Aunt May from the new Spider-Man.
Oh, she's in The Wrestler, too. I never seen My Cousin Vinny, and I really should. I bet I'd like that game a lot. Yeah.
You like that game? You'd even like the movie.
I even like the movie.
But Marissa Tomei is most famous from, well, not most famous, oh my God, but like the Seinfeld episode where she likes short, stocky, bald men. So George gets very excited and tries to get her number, and that's like the whole episode is about it.
Did it work out for George?
No.
No.
No, it did not. It's Seinfeld.
Yeah, right. And George was happy, and everything worked out great. Game Me Quit Years continues. You find a monkey's paw and decide to make a Nintendo-related wish for this year. However, your co-host will decide the unintended aspect of your wish. What will you ask for? I will ask for a new AAA Star Tropics. How are you going to monkey paw my wish, Jeff?
A new AAA Star Tropics. Yeah, it is all motion control. It's all waggle.
It's all waggle.
Yeah.
Great.
All right, and mine is Mario. The Mario and Luigi series comes back, even though Alpha Dream is no more. So, yeah, how do you do it?
Rabbids.
God damn it! Again, that would really actually suck so bad.
Bayleaf Moon says, "Hey dogs, with current gen games taking 5+ years to develop, how would you feel if Nintendo permanently stuck with HD games that have a really good release schedule? I do not need 4K, especially like on my portable. I don't need 4K games. All I want is performance. And really, I don't know. When you're looking at Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, I almost laugh at the idea that we're going to start worrying about 4K from Nintendo in some sense. Right?
And there's no way Game Freak makes an actual native 4K game on the next Switch. No way in hell.
They haven't figured HD out yet.
Yeah. My hope here is I think Bayleaf Moon might actually be onto something here. The next Switch almost certainly is a DLSS machine, and everything will just be upscaled. And so you just tell developers, make a 1080p game, and we'll have tech that can upscale it to 4K. And boy, I think that would be real nice if that all.
Sorry, Jeff.
I was gonna say it'd be real nice if all the tech was like leaning in that direction. So it's like, yeah, just keep making HD games. Don't make real 4K assets. You don't actually need it. Some games still will, on a lot of other platforms, but it'd be great if the Nintendo system just figured that out from the beginning. We can make 1080p look like 4K in every scenario. That would be awesome.
Yeah, because it's going to need to output to something like 4K on TV probably these days.
Yes.
You probably can't get away with doing something.
Yeah, it'll output at 4K, and if it can like up res, using AI to look something like 4K, especially with DLSS magic, then yeah, it could be really cool.
I think that'd be good. All right, everybody, we're going to take a quick little break here. When we come back, we're going to read these super chats, and we're going to talk about that Nintendo pile of shame we want to tackle a little bit here in the next year. So stick around. We all BRB. And the B's are for bark, and the R's for rough.
Bark, rough, back. All right, I'm going to get a water. I'll be right back.
Oh, man, I had to get something, too. I'll wait till he gets back so you guys aren't just sitting there by yourselves. Here, I'll play my flute. Been a while, right?
Beautiful. Do you play better now that you don't have a beer?
I did really bad in the bathroom. No, the lack of the beer does not help, I'm afraid.
The beer gives you some...
The beer gives me...
foundation, some strong...
I've noticed that there don't seem to be any...
Oh God, no. I can't do the Kingdom Hearts song with flute, but I can do a little bit of Dearly Beloved on this piano that I don't use very much anymore.
I raw dog it.
Happy
Christmas.
There's Jeff. I'm gonna go to the bathroom and get my drinky drink.
Thanks, Mike.
You're not welcome.
Next time, get water. Appreciate it. Thank you, Mike. Okay, Christian, what do you have to say for yourself?
No, nothing. I was just like clearing my throat.
I don't believe you.
I'm still like I had COVID last week. And I still have that weird cough, and it's so annoying.
What were your COVID symptoms? I know I need to go get a COVID test, but I
got a runny nose
this morning, and I'm like already feeling better. So I don't know.
Yeah, I got a runny nose in my throat. It's just like done. Like I couldn't talk.
Well, that I definitely it is all my stuff is a post nasal drip, so I probably have COVID.
No, maybe. Yeah, I got it after I celebrated the.
Yeah, I went to Mike's friend's party and I totally got it from those filthy bastards.
Yeah, those
fucking heathens. Yeah. You can get free tests through the post office. Nick, how do do I go to the post office?
Put your head on the. Yeah.
What do I do? Just call Joe Biden? What do I do? So guys, just tell me what to do.
Hey, yo, Brandon, give me a hand here.
Order online. Okay, I'll do that. How long does it take? Order them online. Okay. I need to. Here's the thing. Ask Wario 64. That's a really. I do remember him doing that. God, he did help a lot of people get COVID test.
That was a great. I love that.
What
a timeline.
I have insurance. I pay a lot of money every month for my insurance. I still not gotten a doctor since we moved though.
You can just go and get tested for free?
Yeah. Well, I mean, what do you mean?
No, it's just like tested for free, like in a hospital.
Well, I can get tested for free. I think if I go to, I think with COVID stuff, a lot of stuff is covered. But I mean, I'm like, I need to like make a doctor's appointment.
I wanted to make fun of your your shitty system.
Yes, it's a mess. And honestly, I really miss Kaiser in Colorado. I know a lot of people don't like Kaiser in California, but Kaiser in Colorado was great. You just like could call them up and they would just handle everything for you. And then you go to one building and everything was in one building.
All right, Jeff, I'm back. I'm gonna have you research as we go online again.
All right, hang on.
Cream of the crop.
Thank you. Okay, I think I am ready to go.
All right. And we are back. Jeff, let's read some super chats.
Yeah, definitely. So earlier today, some people renewed their membership here on YouTube. Shout out to Justin Sherrill and Haley Miller, both re-upping to the Lincoln tier today. Thank you so much for that. Then we got from Uriel Delgado. Hi, boys. You ever just hit your knee and
Yeah, that's yeah, it's pretty bad. It's not as the funny bone's an elbow situation, right? That's
yes.
I feel like I hit my funny bone a lot more when I was a kid. Is that a thing? Are kids more susceptible?
Do we have like smaller? Did our funny bone shrink with age or whatever? We didn't drink enough milk.
Yeah, because I feel like I used to get that funny bone weird feeling all the time.
Oh yeah, sure. We probably were just doing dumber shit as kids, right? Like that's probably what it was.
I guess these days my elbows are usually just resting on like a gamer chair. So
yeah, right. You got all the muscle. Yeah, you got all the strength in your elbows now. Your gamer elbows, absolutely. But yes, I hit body parts and all the time. From B Traven, have you considered starting a Patreon paywalled podcast? You would probably make a lot more money. Go ahead, Mike.
I mean, if we both lost our jobs, maybe, but
yeah.
Otherwise, I don't think it's necessary right now.
Yeah, we mostly want to treat Patreon as a small little bonus, a nice way to support us. To like for people who can support these shows that we do, like we definitely view it that way. And then you do get some extra content. You get the Jeopardy games early and the monthly Q&A, things like that. I've said if we get to 300 supporters, we're closing in on 200 actually real fast. If we get to 300, we will do that Columbo podcast because I would love to talk about Columbo. And if we do 500, we'll do a vlog series of us going to Disney Sea.
Tokyo Disney Sea.
Yeah. So, but we'll see. We'll see if we ever get there. We should probably do like a Patreon fund drive at some point. But
yeah, it'd be a good idea.
Yeah, we'll get around to it. It's just right now we're both pretty busy with a lot of different things.
Yeah, holidays are still kind of fresh.
Yep. From Jack E.
Did you see that Kojima was watching Columbo?
Oh, I did not see that. Really?
And it's like Japanese like DVD box set. It was great. Yeah, he watched Mile High, IQ Club, whichever one. Have you seen that one? That's when he like
who's in it?
The think tank of geniuses and like their like club.
I don't think I've seen that. I'll have to check that out.
It's a fan favorite.
Ooh, okay. All right, I'll check that out. That sounds like fun. I don't know why he's doing that. He's gonna find a bunch of people who are dead who he can't scan into his little video games. So
maybe he saw that AI generated art somebody did for us of Columbo in the style of the guy who does his art for his games, right?
Yeah, I see that. He's gonna use AI art to recreate. What's the name of the actor that did Columbo?
Peter Falk.
Peter Falk. Yes, there we go. From Jackie G. Got COVID, so you're my jesters. Ori 2 for Hall of Fame. Ooh, that's...
We should do a Metroid... Okay, how about, Jeff, we'll figure out next Tuesday's or Thursday's Hall of Fame voting. How about we each recommend Metroidvanias?
Sounds good. We'll figure that out tonight.
Metroid's already in there, so it's safe.
All right, very good.
You don't have to worry about that one taking up a spot.
From Yosemite Blam, that's Guga Foods, Mike Benatti. Jeff looks large... Guga?
I said Guga, I think. Yeah, I just discovered this channel. There's a very famous YouTube chef guy who does steaks specifically. It's very fun videos, but I just discovered him, and he's looks like me without my hair.
Jeff looks largely unchanged. Make Jeff bet more. Clean-shaven chest or bust. I already have a clean-shaven chest pretty much. I barely have any hair on my chest.
Yeah, me too.
Oh my goodness. From Gooey Cheese 42. Do you think Prime 4 will be the next gen only title? Will be a next gen only title.
I think it could be.
I think it'll be a cross gen.
I think it could be next gen. I don't know.
It could be, but I think it's going to be cross gen. From Zuckus07. I'm very late to the Zelda series, and I've been loving every mainline game up until Wind Waker HD. I'm struggling to finish it. Does it get better? Oof, Mike, take this from here.
I don't know, because that's my favorite one. So I don't know. I don't know what to say. I know some people just don't like the sailing, and I always thought it was really fun and cool and pretty and like interesting. I thought they did a good job of like making things happen while you're sailing, and there's all those islands. So I mean, some people though don't like it, and if you don't, yes, you do have to do a lot of that. So I will say, like, if you're really close to beating it, if it hasn't struck you yet, I don't know what's gonna change. The ending is great. It has my favorite kind of final boss sequence in the series. So if you're close, beat it. But look, I'm not gonna say I'm disappointed in you, but you've hurt me personally.
Sorry, I'm yelling at Beef Hammer in chat, who said first 10th generation game, Prime 4.
There we go.
I'm careful.
I'm gonna start using these terms just to upset you.
You won't be able to remember them. You won't be able to keep them straight. So.
Well, you yell about 9th generation so much that I think I at least remember that one is this Xbox Series X, and that can work backwards from there. Is GameCube 6 or 5? I can't remember.
Exactly. Do you know what? And you know how EA refers to generations? It says it just goes with the PlayStation. PlayStation 1 was first generation. It says we're in the 5th generation right now, according to EA.
They have their own rules.
That's
fun.
It's completely fucked. Dean Bowling shot us just a super chat with no message. Thank you so much, Dean Bowling. Huey F. Newton. You know what's not a big game? Danganronpa. 20 hours is not long. 20 hours is long. 20 hours is the beginning of that is a real commitment to me.
It's a commitment. It's not unusual for these kind of games.
No, sure.
I guess. I mean, how long did Pentiment take to beat? Probably
about 14, 15.
Yeah, so like almost there-ish. Yeah, look, I don't know. Maybe I'll have to play Danganronpa sometime.
I did install it on my Xbox Series S. I should, but if I'm going to play it, I'm going to play it on the Steam Deck, so I'll install it on there.
Sure.
Look out, it's Jax says, if a Kid Icarus port really is in development, would it be more likely to release on the current Switch or Nintendo's next console? I could see that one coming out this year for the Switch, but it does seem like they were still hiring up developers to work on it over at Bandai Namco.
Maybe. Well, yeah, because there was a job listing for some kind of 3D action game thing. Yeah, I could see this one still being just a current Switch game, and especially if the Switch 2 has backwards compatibility, which it probably will. There's a lot of games that come out of like PlayStation 4 games, right? And it's like, yeah, like, look, we're not going to release Pac-Man Repack World or whatever on PlayStation 5, technically, you know? It could be something like that.
From Derek Morrison, Dream Switch 2, 100% back compat, 1080p OLED screen, docked 4K, DLSS to upscale, 3DS slot with full back compat as well.
Wow.
I can dream, right? Wait for Switch 2 or get rumored, or they're saying, should I wait for Switch 2 or get the rumored Tears of the Kingdom Edition Switch? We didn't talk about that, but there was a leak of a Tears of the Kingdom Edition Switch out there. So
that's true.
Yeah. I would just wait for the Switch 2 at this point.
And a lot of his Dream Switch 2 stuff is reasonable until that 3DS slot, I'm afraid, which would be sweet. But
I still think you don't need a 1080p screen. It's just not necessary for video games on that small of a screen. But whatever, they might do a 1080p screen.
Someone just said in chat that I look like their butt if it had a nose, eyes, and a horizontal mouth. Then they said, no offense. Look, you can't just say no offense after anything and be like, well, I'm safe now. You look like my ass. No offense.
You look like a butthole that could talk, but no offense.
Can't get mad.
You're not allowed to get mad because I said no offense.
No offense.
From Burrito, I don't know what to do with you guys now that you've become normal humans. Enjoy the winter breeze and a happy and prosperous new year to you.
This is normal? Man, it's awful.
Yeah, man, this is not what normal people look like. I did get, like, especially as I was getting sick, and I was like, man, what is this chill? And it's like, oh no, the top of my head is just like letting so much heat escape now. I'm like actually pretty freezy. Yeah. That does it for the super chats, Mike.
let's get to this topic, which is I think a fun one. What's a kind of Nintendo game on your pile of shame, one you never played before?
Yeah.
Not something coming out this year that you would like to play at some point during 2023. We made promises last year about some games we never got to. I think I said I was going to play both Earthbound and Golden Sun, and just didn't. So I'm not going to make those promises again. I am more likely to play Earthbound than Golden Sun, to be honest.
Golden Sun's really good though.
Yeah, it would be Golden Sun would be fun. I don't know why I find it. There's something about it that I find slightly less interesting. Again, it's like, oh, Nintendo's going to make an RPG. Cool. Oh, it's a fantasy turn-based RPG. It looks like it could have been made by anybody, you know?
Yeah, that's fair. It's fun though. So my answer to this, Mike, is The Legend of Zelda: Oracle of Ages.
Yes.
I'm sorry, excuse me, Seasons.
Yes.
Seasons specifically. I never played these, and we've talked about why before, but to reiterate, I was like, oh no, it's a Capcom game. That's weird. I want a real Nintendo Zelda. And for some reason, I deprived myself of these. And really, I did try Oracle of Ages, and I was like, well, this isn't as good as Link's Awakening, like after 5 minutes. And so I didn't really keep trying.
So clearly going in with the right attitude.
Exactly. So I need to readjust my attitude. It turns out I have maybe one or two ways to play these games these days. So I need to just suck it up and make it happen. I'm ready. I'm ready. Everyone always like praises Oracle of Seasons, so I'm ready to really like it.
They're both good. Seasons is probably the better one. You started Minish Cap recently.
Yes, I'm playing Minish Cap. I'm not very far in it, but I am actually making progress in there. So that is what I'm playing now.
Good. I love Minish Cap.
I can't remember what I played it on now, though. I'm like, which device did I start that on? I have to think about it.
I probably need to play a Pikmin game for realsies. I've somehow never played much of those. It'll probably be Pikmin 3 Deluxe. So there's a part of me, because I'm a GameCube pervert, that wants to play the original. So we'll see. But yes, I want to probably play Pikmin 3 Deluxe, or maybe even soonish on the Switch before I start thinking about 4 too much.
Yeah, Pikmin 3 Deluxe is so good.
Yeah, so there's my answer. Let's see what the community thinks about this one, Jeff.
Yeah, let's do it.
If you're hey, I know we read super chats. We'll still read all of them that come in before the end of the show. You can answer this topic, or you can super chat us anything you want to. Reggie Glasky says Wind Waker HD, which I think is him coming at us. But if he hasn't played the Wii U Wind Waker HD, it's a fantastic game. So fuck you.
And all these emojis of our faces.
Well, yeah, now it's us, our disfigured faces. Grant Just McBasketball says Metroid Prime Remake. You guys are hilarious.
Yeah, you guys are so funny.
Real. But you know what?
You guys are cut-ups.
I'm going to read this super chat instead. I like the super chatters more today.
Yeah.
Than podcast producers. The King of Town says, if Nintendo went third party, how would you react?
I would freak out a little bit, but I would probably be fine in the end.
I probably would react poorly to it, even though in some ways, that wouldn't, how much is that really going to impact my life? It might be better in some ways. I would react poorly, I think.
Yep.
It would feel weird to me. I react very poorly when Sega canceled the Dreamcast. I did not handle that well.
I bet, yeah. And with the benefit of age, I don't think I would be much better off today reacting to Nintendo going third. I mean, I'd be like, what can I do about it? And as long as I could still play their games, I'd mostly be fine. But I'd be like, this is not going to be good.
Bench JC says the whole Metroid Prime trilogy. I'm going to assume this one's not a joke at our expense. Those are very good games. I was just thinking
skipped
about
Wild Porgs, I think.
Oh, I did, because it was a picture. I'll get back to that.
Yep.
Thank you, Jeff.
Yep.
But Metroid Prime shows you. I was thinking about this in the shower today. These were my shower thoughts. It's interesting because I think I was thinking about Sports Story and sequels that are poorly received, and nobody dislikes Metroid Prime 2 Echoes or Metroid Prime 3 Corruption, but also nobody, or it's a very small majority, would ever say oh, those are better than the first game. That's kind of weird in a trilogy, right? For almost everybody, the first one's the best one.
Yeah, I mean, it is strange, but that's because usually the first one is they're figuring it out, and then the second one is where everything comes together. And with Metroid Prime, it's oh no, the first one, everything. That's why it's so surprising. That's why it was really blew people away. It's oh my god, they figured it all out right here in this first one.
Right. Yeah, there's a big reason why I think it was such this a big deal at the time. It's this feels like this is the fourth try at this.
Yes,
right?
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. But 2 and 3 are still worth playing for sure. So Wild Porgs, the Castlevania Portrait of Ruin. I really do want to replay all these DS Castlevania Metroidvanias, but I'm hoping for a compilation, and maybe I just shouldn't. Maybe I need to find a DS Lite and just go through these things.
Yeah.
Moonlight 150 says Luigi's Mansion 3, Triangle Strategy, and Astral Chain. Currently top of my Switch to-do list. In terms of relatively recent ones, Jeff, I we had to play Trails from Zero, which came out last year, because then Trails to Azure or whatever, the sequel's coming out in a few months. So got to get. To
I never tried Astral Chain, and I should. That's what I should do.
You wouldn't like it.
You think too much? Too much talking? I
too
thought
much
it'd
story.
be
Too much. That stuff doesn't bother me as much as you, and I was enjoying the combat. There was too much melodramatic anime story cutscenes.
All right,
I just got
fair enough.
Like it's like, no spoilers, but there's like the mentor figure, and it's like, here's the long cutscene where he dies.
Oh, good.
And it's like slow motion, and everyone's like, yeah, this is shocking. This is really intense storytelling, guys. Great job. Velocity Prime says, maybe I will finally play the Golden Sun games and see what all those freaks are going on about. Yeah,
It was probably a time and place thing with Golden Sun. It probably was.
I bet it still holds up. No one likes that DS one that much, though. Right. People like the 2 Game Boy Advance ones. Fluffy Cloud Gamer says, probably Pikmin 3 Deluxe if I get to it before Pikmin 4's release. But I may also wait to hear how the new one is received to see if it's better to jump into that. Also have Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze in the backlog. There you go. Breadfish says, I get the feeling that I'm going to hear a lot of, I really need to play that in this week's episode. For me, though, shamefully, it's got to be Metroid Prime. Despite having a hacked Wii, I actually picked up the trilogy early in the pandemic. It's been waiting in the wings for a couple years now. Only wanted to play through Zero Mission first. Now that that's done, I have no excuse. Yes, you do have no excuse. Go play Metroid Prime. You're going to have a great time.
I tell you what, a really good way to play those games is with the Steam Deck, with the Prime Hack version of Dolphin.
Well, yeah. I mean,
I know. Yeah,
ready to go.
Yeah, it's for sure. Absolutely. I'm just like, for people who are like, if you have that Steam Deck, it's a real good way to play with dual analog. It's pretty cool, actually.
The Jad in the Hat says, I think Jeff has influenced me to play more Kirby games. I want to try both Forgotten Land and Return to Dreamland Deluxe when that comes out in February. Feel free to recommend any older Kirby games I should try to play on the Steam Deck. The original Kirby's Adventure is very good. If depending on how proficient you are, maybe get a ROM hack that reduces some of the lag in that one, because there was quite a bit in it. That's the only problem. Or you could play the Game Boy Advance remake, Kirby's. What's that one called? Return to Dream? No, Return to Dream was the other one. Nightmare in Dreamland. Nightmare in Dreamland was the Game Boy Advance remake. Also, Kirby Superstar on the
Super Nintendo. Yeah,
still my favorite. And then the 2 3DS games, Triple Deluxe and Planet Robobot, are both very good.
And Return to Dreamland is the one that's coming out soon. That'll probably be very good. It's in that same engine as Robobot.
He said he wants to try. Yeah, so that was like the first of like the modern Kirby games. Super Harmon says, I never played Wonderful CPU, said, I bought Tactics Ogre Reborn a couple weeks ago, so I'll get to that at some point. That's like becoming my one that I said I was going to get to, and now I'm like, well, I know I'm going to play Trails from Zero first, so I may not be getting this one.
I started up Tactics Ogre Reborn on the Steam Deck. I was like, I'm enjoying it enough, but I might just be like, I could just go back and play Tactics Advance instead. I should probably just go do that.
Super Harmon says, I never played Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, or Metroid Prime, so should any of those be released this year, I'll play at least 1 or 2 of them. The one I do want to get to is the first Final Fantasy. A couple of years back, I played through all the single-player number of Final Fantasy games. It was going to save this for last, but never played it. So with the Pixel Remaster coming to Switch, I should finally get to it. I think the first Final Fantasy is still a lot of fun, especially if you play like one of the remakes that streamlines some of the like awkwardness from the NES original. It's very simple in a very pleasant way. It's still fun. You get to kind of make your party in the beginning, like a D&D thing. So you can kind of figure out like, oh, am I going to have a lot of mages? All this stuff. Yeah, you still have like that classic big open world score. Final Fantasy 1 is a good time. I think you're going to enjoy that once the Pixel Remaster comes out. Jeremy Biff says, hi, Mike likes being called Minotti, and Jeff should be wearing a ski mask. Right? Hey, this one got reposted. I was like, I remember this insult.
Yeah.
Hoff says, I hope Advance Wars gets a quiet launch at some point this year. Otherwise, I will finally play the first 2 Zeldas, as they are glaring omissions. Was that, I forget if that was this year or last year, where I actually like played through all of Zelda 1 and 2. And
I think it was last year.
Yeah.
I think. Wow, 2021.
Right, I know what you mean. It was during the 8th gen.
Yes, exactly.
Screaming Man says, a proper Zelda game, whether it be a classic like Link to the Past on NSO or a modern one like Tears of the Kingdom, I need to finally beat a proper Zelda in my life. Only Zelda-ish game I beat was Cadence of Hyrule, if that counts. Well, I mean, I know what you mean. Like a main entry. I wonder what would be the easiest proper Zelda game beat. Like Link's Awakening would probably be relatively breezy, especially if you did the remake, right?
Oh, yeah.
You just wanted to beat a Zelda game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bailey Moon says Super Metroid is brought up a lot and is on my must playlist, but I do hear that it's a bit floaty from you guys. I'll kill you. The Donkey Kong Country Trilogy are games that also are needed. Their soundtracks are god tier and have flooded my playlist. Yeah, they're so
play
good.
'em.
Just play those on NSO. Just use some save states if like some of those are hard, especially Donkey Kong
use
Country
Rewind.
2. Yeah, Donkey Kong Country 2 is incredible. 3 is better than it's given credit for. Those are all very good games. Tink says NES Zero passed the first SNES game. The GameCube game looks like a Wipeout to me, and I really don't like Wipeout, but I'll give it a try this year in hopes that it dazzles me. Yeah, give it a try. It plays different. It feels different than Wipeout does. Wipeout's its own kind of thing. Dan Likes Everything says, I haven't played either Mario Galaxy game. I was that one guy that didn't have a Wii, so I might go nuts and try one of those.
Try
Definitely
both of
do that.
those.
Play
Play
those.
both.
Those are good games. Yeah. Razzle Jazzle says, I missed a lot of major releases over the years, but Ocarina of Time is probably the most glaring one. Picked up a used copy of 3DS version a couple years ago. Just haven't gotten around to it. Hopefully 2023 is the year. I like that 3DS version of Ocarina of Time a lot. Same thing with the Majora's Mask that they made for those. I'd be happy if they just kind of like took those and just basically up-res them for Switch. I don't need them to do too much more. I feel like that's rough to do with Ocarina of Time because people's expectations, if you say you're gonna release a remake of Ocarina of Time on Switch, is gonna get out of hand. But those games are great on 3DS. I think the 3D stuff is still fun. Those versions kind of ruined the Nintendo 64 originals for me a little bit. I'm not usually one who says that about remakes. Normally, I'm like a big fan of like just going back to the original anyways. But in this case, it's like these 3DS
they edited
versions,
a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of nice quality of life stuff there. Lassian says, I have all been interested in Earthbound since I first saw him in Smash, but always forget to include it when doing crimes. Mr. Bowler says, despite Kirby's Dream Land 2 being one of the first Nintendo games I ever played, I realized I haven't actually played that many Kirby games overall. That's why I've resolved to play all the Kirby games. Nice. If not in 2023, guys probably to do this after playing Kirby's Dream Land and Kirby's Adventure for the first time recently. And I most recently played Kirby's Dream Course.
All-time great game, with Kirby's Dream Course.
Yes, report back to us, bowlers. Lots of good games. I'll be interested to hear what you think about. Like Dreamland 3 is interesting, but like it's got some. I don't know if issues are the word, but it's just like there's something missing. Than Kirby Superstar is so good. Gerber says, so my gaming New Year's resolution from episode 27 was to complete Ocarina of Time. I haven't done that. However, after a few false starts, I am now up to the Fire Temple, so we'll beat the game sometime this year. Nice. After that, I think it'll be time for me to tackle Super Mario RPG and find out if Mallow is worthy of your lofty praise. Mallow and Gino are both very good boys, Jeff. They're the best boys. Gosh, they're so good.
I love them.
Nothing would actually maybe make me freak out more at this point than if it's like, hey, here's a new game with Gino and Mallow in it. It could be anything.
Absolutely.
Chaos Buckaroo says, Breath of the Wild brought me into Zelda, and it is now one of my favorite series. I have played through 7 games so far, and the one at the top of my list of remaining games is none other than Link's Awakening. I have DX ready to go on an emulator and plan to play it soon. Can't decide if I want to experience that island atmosphere in the summer or winter. Honorable mentions to Mario 64 and Galaxy 2. Well, you are going to have a very good year.
If you can, I mean, go get the Redux version of Link's Awakening. They fix some of the things. They streamline it, and it's available as like a ROM hack. You can get it almost anywhere.
There's so much fun about like discovering a series and then like just marathoning it. Like or discovering that you're actually into it finally. Like makes me think of when I beat Final Fantasy 12 when that was newer, and it was the first time I beat a Final Fantasy. Then just went back and played through the first 10. And I was doing that a little bit with Dragon Quest for a while. It's fun stuff. Like you think like, oh, I'm just playing the same thing. When it almost feels like there's a purpose to it when you're doing all the games. Then Charlie Wolf says, I have dabbled in almost every Nintendo franchise, but there were 3 in particular that I haven't tried a game in the series. Pikmin, Mother, and Splatoon. Let's start with Pikmin, as Pikmin 4 is closing in on us soon. I'll probably grab the Wii editions for 1 and 2 and then play Deluxe on Switch. Yep, he's thinking along my lines there.
Just don't give up before you get to Deluxe, that's all.
And maybe even just do Deluxe first.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like there's a narrative you need to follow.
That's right. Absolutely.
And then if it's like, oh, I can't go back to 1 because 3 like is so nice, well, then oh well.
Oh, well.
Big Tony says, I bought every Xenoblade game that came out, including Torna, and have not started the journey. I'm taking a week off for my birthday next week, so maybe then. I had heard people say that they like that DLC for 2. But people also say that they like 2. So, who can you trust? Bend7 says, Happy New Year, messy boys. Decided it was finally time to jump on the Patreon. I thought this was a new name. As for Nintendo games, I've never played. For me, it was pretty much anything on the Nintendo 64. So I picked up a Brawler 64 controller and I'm starting with Ocarina of Time. Hey, thank you.
Man, I want to get one. I want to get that controller.
I think I know which one this is. I think I've seen it. It looks pretty cool.
I think it's one that looks like the N64 one. Yeah, that is. Yeah, or it looks like it looks like an Xbox one.
Right. So he hasn't played Nintendo 64. What would be like your second Nintendo 64? I mean, if he's not played Mario 64, he should probably play that. But otherwise, like Star Fox 64, those are kind of the three I always think of for Nintendo 64 for some reason. If we're not talking rare games.
Yeah. For Nintendo 64, especially for stuff that's on Nintendo Switch Online. I mean, yeah. Start with those three. But try like Blast Core and things like that. Try some of the rare games.
Sin and Punishment.
Sin and Punishment. There you go. That's a relatively deep cut. Yeah.
Eva Janice says, the backlog is real, but at some point this year, I will make an effort to finally play Luigi's Mansion 3. That is such a good game. I imagine, like, the quote-unquote problem is, like, I should play this at Halloween, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's good. It's good all the time.
Absolutely.
You see Resident Evil Remake won our Game Mess Club.
I did see that, yeah.
Yeah. I've been wanting to play that for a while. There's a part of me, and this is not a promise at all, that, like, wants to maybe play the remake, and if I have time, actually, like, just go and play the original PlayStation version 2 and compare them. Might be fun.
I love Remake. I've not played it since it came out on GameCube.
I played a little bit on GameCube and was terrified because I was a coward. So I'm excited. I think I'm a big boy now and I can handle it.
Ooh.
I mean, I was terrified of the original back then, which is so funny now because you played and like, how can anybody be scared of this? It is so cheesy, but at the time, absolutely mortifying. It's like people might actually die in this game. And it's not fun. Evo Janice said, Pablo Costa says, well, Star Fox Adventures has been on my backlog for years now. And you know what? Scratch that one off because people here get weird and horny with that one. Yes, we know which people too, Sean. I haven't played any Xenoblade Chronicle games and now I want to. So that's my 2023 Nintendo 2-play resolution. There's a very good chance I'm going to play Star Fox Adventures and Star Fox Assault this year. I've got them ready to go for some GameCubing. Star Fox Assault I think is actually good. Star Fox Adventures, I'm like, can I get through this? Am I going to enjoy it enough to be able to play it, or am I going to like really hate this game?
I wonder if you can get past the beginning if it gets better. I have no idea. It's such a weird, slow, bad start.
It is a slow, bad start. There is something about just the GameCube-ness of it that will help me along a little bit.
Like that fur tech is actually really impressive. Yeah. It's like a really great looking game. So I always think that's going to be enough to get me through it, and it never is.
Of course, it's like the one part of the game I have played a couple times too, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Beef Hammer says, no, Jeff, not those Tingle games. Maybe Captain Rainbow, though. Maybe.
Hey.
They'll actually take some advice from Mike. For what? And check out Star Tropics. Yeah. Play Star Tropics. Use some save states. Use a guide if you need to. But it's a fun playthrough. It's a pretty game. Jamie says, Adventures of Link and Majora's Mask. The only two Legend of Zelda games I have yet to beat. What version of Majora would you recommend? NSO or 3DS? Oh, 3DS. You want to play the 3DS version of that one. There's some nice quality of life improvements there. I never beat that game on Nintendo 64. I didn't beat it until that 3DS version came out. New Year, same Bob says, same answer as last year. Metroid. Like the entire franchise, I also would like to dabble in the older Zelda games like Ocarina and Majora or Wind Waker, but who knows how much of my backlog I can even get this year. I wonder if you're like planning to actually do it linear. Because Metroid, I think I just beat Metroid 1 for the first time at like very early in 2022, actually. And it was fun, but it's,
I love playing the original Zelda still. It's always like a surprise each time because I never remember it. So I always have to like relearn everything. And it's a fun process.
Yeah. Clink says, somehow I've never gotten around to Paper Mario and 1,000-Year Door. Hopefully this will finally be the year. That is a good game and it probably runs just perfectly on Dolphins.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Gaming the Clinton year says Wario World, which is like my new like cross, right? Like, the Wario World is severely underrated. No one talks about it. The biggest comment I got while playing it was like, "Wait, this exists? There's a 3D Wario platform in the GameCube." I'm like, yeah, and it's good. Like the only reason people dinged it back then was like, "It's too short." Well, who gives a shit now? You're gonna download it for Dolphin, right? Unless you're sicko like me, you have to go buy an old copy. So play Wario World. It's super fun. Vision 49 says, I got my analog pocket, so I'm finally diving into the Oracle games for the first time. Hey, just like you. I started with Seasons, and it is quickly moving up my personal list of favorite Zelda games. Season switching gimmick alongside the unique items like the magnet glove, seed bag, and ring system all make it feel really distinct. P.S. Since it came up, time travel and ages felt similar. Mike is right. Seasons is better. Yeah, they're both good. I was almost kind of glad. I think I started with Ages, so it was like, oh, I saved a slightly better one for later. But still, they are kind of one game. Those games do rule. I wouldn't mind playing them again. G-Mancer says I never play Luigi's Mansion 1. Every year I say we'll play it in October, but I keep getting busy. That'd be fun to go back to. It would not be as good as Luigi's Mansion 3.
Did they remake that for 3DS, or did they own?
Man, you're right. They did do that. That's fucked up.
Yeah, I'm like, I kind of want to see that one.
That's so weird. That's like a game that people are going to talk about 50 years from now. Like, that happened.
Yeah.
By the way.
Yes.
All those
GameCube remakes on 3DS.
God,
who's that YouTuber that does those videos? I can't think. But yes, yeah, we'll totally see that.
All those late 3DS games like that 2D Pikmin game, those weird Mario and Luigi remakes. Like, gosh, that's a weird time. Luigi's Mansion 1 is a very fast playthrough, though, too. So it'd be nice to knock out. Dr. Sus says Tears of the Kingdom and Silksong are the two big games. Dr. Sus didn't understand the question. The small game list is huge, though. Hunt Down, Minoria, Golf Story, and okay, now it's working a little bit. And I don't plan on stopping Splatoon 3 anytime soon. There you go. Emma Goldie says there's a good chunk of Zelda games I haven't played. Link's Awakening, Wind Waker, Minish Cap, Link to the Past. I'm surprised how many people are kind of going back to like their Zelda like backlog here. It's a very popular answer. I guess there's a lot of Zelda games, and most people probably like Zelda at least enough to be like, I should play the other ones people like.
Yes, exactly.
Lenny Cool Dick Denver says I've played Final Fantasies 1 through 6, 8 through 10, and 10 to 12 and 15, as well as 7 Remake. So of course I should play the 13 trilogy instead of Final Fantasy 7. Also, I have Final Fantasy 7 on Switch cart, so I'm saying it counts. I would berate him for not playing. No, 9's included. So yeah, 7 is the only one. That's funny. And then Nick Turbo says Castlevania Advanced Collection, which is a very good answer. So there we go.
Yeah, go play that.
Yeah, it's very good. So that was fun.
We got some super chats that might be relevant, Mike.
Why don't we go through all the super chats, Jeff?
Okay, yeah. So let's start here with. I'm going to start with After Burrito. So Derek Morrison. Never played Minish Cap at all, and only multiplayer on the DS games. I have only beat Zelda 1, 2, let's see, Link's, I just lost it because I had to move everything. Zelda 1, 2, Link's Awakening, Link to the Past, Ocarina of Time, Breath of the Wild. So, yeah, Minish Cap is the one I'm playing right now and really actually enjoying it a ton. It is very good.
It has like the slow start problem that all the Zelda games from that era has, but it's a lot of fun once you get past that.
Green Thumbs says, I've played most of the 2D Mario and 2D Zelda games, but I don't think I've ever actually finished any of them. Shame. Yeah, you got to go. Those are some great games.
Just it up, baby. Just use save states.
That's right. Juicy. Get juicy.
No, get juicy. You just. You
juicy.
just.
Juicy. From Hitch. Jeff, love the new haircut. When do we see Demon's Souls PC? That is one that they said would never come to Xbox, but it did early on. They were like, and it's coming to PC. And it is like it's Sony published, right? Now all their stuff comes to PC eventually. I think it probably could be this year.
Would people be mad if that comes to PC before Bloodborne?
Yeah, but I mean, they're gonna have to get mad because it's probably coming to PC before Bloodborne.
Right then.
Yeah. From the Uncharted Wolf, people in the Discord are already sending me their own Metacritic predictions. For anyone in the Discord who wants to play, tag me and give me your own predictions. So that's just go to discord.gg/game mess and find the Uncharted Wolf there. There's a page. There's a channel for Last of the Nintendogs. You can probably hit them there.
Well, if I want to know, who do you think did better? I want to know who you think's going to win. What's your prediction on that?
And it's not fair to count anyone from the chat because they're going to have like the benefit of research and seeing how previous games did, and we just went from the gut.
That's right.
The King of Town says Minish Cap, best 2D Zelda. Sorry, or hashtag sorry, not sorry. All right, I'm feeling it.
I always prefer saying top down because it's like I would like put Link Between Worlds and
Link Between Worlds is actually the best one.
Yeah, that's probably the best one, but I do like Minish Cap a lot. It's hard to say. There's so many. I don't feel like I do with Mario, where I'm like I like almost every 3D Mario more than 2D Marios. Like top down and like the third person Zeldas, I guess, or I like those almost equally. It just depends on the game.
Thank you for the super chats, everybody. We really appreciate it.
Yeah. A lot of you showed up today, and we really appreciate that. This has been fun.
If you have any more that come in before the end of the show, I'll read them before we're done.
We will, and I'll make sure he reads them real good, like real sexy, like too. You're gonna be really happy about it.
Oh yeah.
Next week's topic, Jeff. What dream game would you disfigure yourself for to make real? This is inspired by the mutilation we have done to our bodies. So there you go. So what's a game that you would drastically change your appearance for to make real?
I like it.
This will be a fun time. Hey, we got a couple more super chats that just came in.
Yeah, let's see.
I told them that it would be sexy, so you better make it sexy, Jeff.
All right, this comes from the Uncharted Wolf. Jeff wins because he knew what Atomic Heart was. Oh, yeah. And then from Derek Morrison, what makes Minish Cap so good? ?
It has really strong dungeons. It has one of my favorite boss fights in the series. The shrinking mechanic, like I liked when like the Zelda games were just really like, we're gonna figure out one gimmick and just kind of sing with it. And this one goes really hard that you can shrink, and it's a lot of fun. They do a lot of cool things with it. It's really neat. So it's just it's if you like, especially like A Link to the Past style Zelda games, this is just a really well done version of that.
What's your shirt, Mike?
This is the Mickey, Donald, and Goofy turned into like tropical sweet Disney World drinks.
Looks cool.
Thank you.
Yep.
I'm glad you like it.
Yeah, absolutely. Makes me want to go to Disney World, just like everything else right now.
Everything makes me want to go to Disney World. The new 90s Disney, that's our big trip report is up, by the way. Everyone wants to go to 90sdisney.com if you want to.
I've not listened yet. That's right. I've not had a chance to listen to many podcasts over the last couple of days, so I'll get that in the queue and give it a listen. I love that show, Mike, because you guys do a good job.
Hey, thank you. Thank you. You had a good bombcast today too. I was enjoying.
Thank you. Yeah, I actually was having a pretty good time doing that. It was a good time. Mike, I've only played Sports Story, and we talked about it last week, so I don't have much else to say.
Yeah, I haven't been playing too many. I've been like actually going to bed tired, which is weird. I've been playing a lot of Marvel Snap in bed, so a lot of my Switch time. And again, like I'm not very enthusiastic about going back to Scarlet and Violet at this point, so I think I might be doing some Steam decking soon or downloading Pikmin 3 Deluxe. But otherwise, yeah,
I wouldn't mind doing a stream where I try to get back into Arceus. I might try that.
Yeah, being Arceus is fun. You know what? So even those like boss battles in Arceus where you're kind of just like dodge rolling shit, I was like, this stuff's kind of fun.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
Like this in Scarlet. But, yeah. Well, all right then, Jeff. Why don't we start wrapping this bad boy up here, and we can edit it. We can get it online for all the audio listeners and everything. But hey, thanks for listening to Last of the Nintendogs, everybody. You can see me and Jeff again this Thursday for Game Mess. Besides, Jeff, you're drinking out of that Andor cup I got you.
I am, yes. It's the Christmas present Mike got me. It's an Andor cup. Yeah, look at that. Look at how
there wasn't much Andor merchandise in Disney World, but there was that.
Yes. It's turns out they're like, we don't know what the hell. Eventually, they're going to release toys, but those haven't even come out yet. So, yeah.
Yeah, someday for sure. Who's on Game Mess Mornings? Well, first Game Mess Mornings in a while.
Yeah, Lucy's back. So
nice.
Me and Lucy are going to hit that. As long as Lucy's like, okay, it's apparently storming something fierce in SF.
No.
So as long as she has power, I guess I'll go check in on that after we're done here. But I'm looking forward to doing another episode of Game Mess Mornings. It has been a while.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time. I'll try to be there if I don't get too sleepy.
I appreciate it. Hey, you want to be on Monday?
Okay.
Thank you, Mike. Bye, everybody.
Two words. Black Adam.